Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I am Vedant Agarwal. Our lead story, well, a major breakthrough in the Bengaluru Rameshwaram cafe blast case. Two key accused have now been arrested and they've been sent to police custody. In fact, they were traced to their hideouts in West Bengal. This after multiple raids by the National Investigation Agency. In fact, the terror agency says, the anti-terror agency, that these two accused were behind the conspiracy. One planned the attack and the other executed it. My colleague Pratibha Raman reports.
The two men who plotted and executed the blast that rocked Rameshwaram Cafe in Bengaluru last month, arrested by the NIA more than 1700 kilometers away from Kathi in Bengal's East Midnapur district. In a statement, the NIA said the available evidence indicates that Musawwir Hussain Shazib planted the bomb placed inside a backpack at the popular eatery, while Abdul Mateen Taha was responsible for planning the attack and for their disappearance. Residents of Karnataka's Shivamoga district, Shazib and Taha were traced to Kathi after officials conducted searches at 18 locations across Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and even Uttar Pradesh. The accused were living under false identities in Bengal.
All electronic devices, laptops, mobile phones of different companies, SIM cards, VPN machines, everything has been all digital evidence, digital things has been recovered from them.
We'll just show you the room that they stayed in, and this of course is the room where they stayed in. Room number 8 is where they stayed in this hotel, and of course this is something that obviously happened while they were looking for a place to stay. The room is locked now. Room number 8 is where these two accused, the main accused in the Bengaluru Rameshwaram Cafe blast accused, stayed in at this hotel in Calcutta.
The arrest of the two key accused triggered a predictable political slugfest between the state's ruling Trinamool Congress and the opposition Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of the Lok Sabha election. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hit back at Babs that the state had become a safe haven for terrorists under her rule.
सवाल तो ये उत्पन्न होता है कि पश्चिम बंगाल हर प्रकार के आतंकी और जिहादी और इस प्रकार के उग्रवादी मानसिकता रखने वाले व्यक्तियों के लिए एक सेफ हेवन, एक अड्डा क्यों बन चुका है।
আর সেখানে বলছে বাংলা সেফ নয়, তোর দিল্লি সেফ, তোর উত্তরপ্রদেশ সেফ, তোর রাজস্থান সেফ, তোর গুজরাট সেফ, তোর বিহার সেফ। বাংলার মানুষ শান্তিতে থাকে, বিজেপি সহ্য হয় না।
Politics aside, what can be appreciated is that agencies reporting both to the union government and to the state government have worked together, cooperated with each other to bring suspected terrorists in the Rameshwaram Cafe blast to book. With camera person GD Shankar in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
So, crucial development there in the Bengaluru Rameshwaram cafe blast case. But staying with news from Bengaluru, well, residents of a posh society in the Silicon City have now decided to boycott the upcoming general elections. This as the Bengaluru water crisis continues. In fact, they say that there are many plans on paper, but the government and the local administration have failed to execute those. My colleague Pratibha Raman has this report.
Bengaluru's despair over water has hit even the Lok Sabha polls, with some residents of JP Nagar, a prominent locality, facing acute shortages, saying that they will boycott voting.
Okay, this is the time when we should raise our voice, and definitely we want everyone to know that what we are facing. We have our own right to get a water, and we are raising our voice for that.
Residents claim that despite plans on paper, authorities have not been able to even ensure proper pipelines for Kaveri river water supply.
They have given us a sanction letter expecting us to pay around 2.4 crores.
The Bengaluru Water Supply Board has scheduled a meeting with the residents on April 15th to sort out the matter.
So this particular layout association, they want to waive off the charges and give the connections. This is a decision to be taken at the government level, not at the board level. Further, there are similar kind of situation across Bengaluru, and if we waive off one particular layout, there will be more than multiple number of requests, similar requests may come.
Water crisis has been an issue in Bengaluru, and we've been talking about it time and again. But this time it has become an issue where it has even hurt the sentiments of people ahead of the Lok Sabha election. Pratima Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
So, the water crisis has become an important election issue in Bengaluru. But moving now to our special focus on NDTV, the Haryana school bus horror in which 6 students died. And well, where does the accountability really lie? Now, the 2 main accused, the school principal and the driver who rammed the bus into a tree and abandoned the dying and injured children. Now, both of them have been arrested and they've been sent to police custody. But of course, now vehicle checks have been stepped up across Haryana. But the big question, is this move too little, too late? Here's a report. 5 days in police custody for the 3 people accused in the deaths of 6 children in the horrific school bus accident in Haryana's Mahendragarh on Thursday. The school principal who did precious little to take accountability and the drunk driver who rammed the bus into a tree and abandoned the dying children will both be questioned by the police. The GL Public School, one of the most prominent private schools in the district, is now in the dock. The police say the school bus was not fit to ferry students and the vehicle documents expired years ago.
आज जो 3 आरोपी हमने कल गिरफ्तार किए थे उनको एसएचओ साहब द्वारा पेश किया गया है। 5 दिन का पुलिस रिमांड हमने रिकॉर्ड वगैरह और अन्य पूछताछ करने के लिए लिया गया था, तो हमारे को 5 दिन का पुलिस रिमांड कोर्ट ने मंजूर करके दिया है।
With disturbing details emerging in the initial probe, the state government has formed a 4-member team to investigate the incident. In less than 10 hours, nearly 12 school buses in the neighbouring Kalandwali district were found to be unfit for carrying students. In the Kanina village of Mahendragarh that lost 6 young children in just a matter of seconds, there's anger and despair. The grieving families demand justice.
बच्चे जाते थे, उन्होंने शिकायत करी थी वहाँ पे स्कूल में जाके प्रिंसिपल से कि भाई ये ड्राइवर ठीक नहीं है बस का, इसको बदल दो या इसको ठीक करो, लेकिन उसका कोई सुनाई नहीं किया और आज उसके कारण ये हादसा का अंजाम हुआ। और ये खेड़ी गांव के आदमी ने वहाँ उसकी चाबी ली है उस दिन जिस दिन ये हादसा हुआ उस दिन, और प्रिंसिपल को फ़ोन किया है कि दारू में धुत है ड्राइवर। फिर उन्होंने फ़ोन किया है कि इसका तो रोज़ का काम है, आप चाबी दे दो, ये ले जाएगा, छोड़ देगा, और रास्ते में ये हादसा हुआ है।
Vansh, Yakshu, Satyam, Ricky, Yuvraj and Anshu were all less than 17 years old. Their families left devastated and their dreams shattered. With Shubhang Singh Thakur and Ankur Kapoor, Vedant Agarwal for NDTV. And moving now to the fallout of the Haryana school bus horror. Well, in several districts of Haryana, now the local administration and the transport department has ramped up vehicle checks. In fact, surveillance at various checkpoints now taking place from districts like Gurugram, of course, in areas in and around Rewari as well, which is a crucial district there. In fact, several buses were found to be unfit to ferry students. But the big question is, where was the transport department all this while? Who will really pay for the death of those 6 students and the many others who were left injured? And shifting now to the first phase of the general elections, and Tamil Nadu will be voting in a single phase, and it's become a real battleground. And after Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it's now a big show of strength from the India bloc, with Chief Minister M.K. Stalin sharing the stage with Rahul Gandhi. M.K. Stalin raked up the electoral bonds issue during the joint rally as well. Listen in.
Now, the voice of the Tamil people is asking a few simple questions. It is asking Narendra Modi and the RSS these questions. The first question is, why are you attacking our language, our history and our tradition? You come here and you say, I like dosas. And then you go back to Delhi and you say, one nation, one leader, one language.
And well, it's election season, which means it's a season of political jibes and rhetoric as well. And the Prime Minister on the campaign trail hit out at the former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Tejasvi Yadav, for his video, this particular video that you see on your screens, that he had posted a couple of days ago, eating fish. And the Prime Minister said this is to provoke Hindus, but Tejasvi Yadav said that this was posted and shot before the auspicious Hindu festival. Take a look.
कानून किसी को भी कुछ भी खाने से नहीं रोकता है और न ही मोदी रोकता है। सभी को स्वतंत्रता है कि जब मन करे वेज खाए या नॉन वेज खाए, लेकिन इन लोगों की मंशा दूसरी होती है। सावन के महीने में वीडियो दिखाकर वो मुगल के लोगों के जमाने की जो मानसिकता है ना, उसके द्वारा वो देश के लोगों को चिढ़ाना चाहते हैं।
बिहार के मुद्दे पे बात नहीं कर रहे, पलायन कैसे रोकेंगे इस पे बात नहीं कर रहे। आगे अगर इनको मौका मिलेगा 5 साल तो क्या करेंगे इसके बारे में नहीं बोल रहे। अब क्या करेंगे, कुछ किया तो है नहीं 10 साल 17 साल में। एमएलए इनका, एमपी इनका, मुख्यमंत्री इनका, प्रधानमंत्री इनका, सारा अधिकारी इनका, A to Z इनका, लेकिन कोई काम नहीं। अभी भी बताइए, खाली हिंदू मुसलमान भाजपा के लोग बोलेंगे यही खाएगा, वो पहनेगा, खाली पहनाएंगे, खिलाएंगे, यही बात करते रहेंगे।
So this says a lot about the political discourse that we are currently witnessing, but we'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side.